let's move over to Summer Game Fest. Sean, you really enjoyed this.
No, evidently I was wrong, and it was the greatest show because of one game.
See,
because
when you stepped on the Elden Ring bear trap, man.
Because when you listen to an album, oh, this is the greatest music album of all time. Well, what songs did you like? Oh, I only liked one of them. What about the other 12? Oh, no, they're not good. But that one, you go to a movie and you like 5 minutes of the movie, it makes the whole movie great. Never mind that you hated the rest of the movie. People are Karate Kid.
Wait, you didn't like you went into Metal Slug Tactics at all?
I was gonna say
I didn't like it.
Yeah, what? Get this man off the show. Get him off.
Okay, so we had Summer Game Fest. There was like 30 announcements, and I can think of 5 of them. So there weren't that many apparently. There were some that were like DLC or like other random smaller things. Like I don't know. Some of the show.
Hey, look, here's a skin and Weezer and another skin for a game.
Hey, you disrespected Metal Slug Tactics. You don't
because okay, you know why I did? Because it's obvious because Metal Slug should be a proper Metal Slug game. That would have been a good complementary game. Like, hey, we're doing a new Metal Slug, and we have
Metal Slug in development.
Let him finish. Let RGT finish.
No, that's the thing. You're not
right
showing
now.
me this. You're not showing me this other Metal Slug. You're showing me Advance Wars with Metal Slug characters. Which, let's be realistic,
awesome.
Metal Slug has never been about. Metal Slug has really never been about the characters. It's always been about the gameplay. I don't have any sort of emotional attachment.
You don't
to any
have an
Metal
emotional
Slug
connection to Marco.
No.
The hell's wrong with you?
Marco.
I've never disagreed with you more.
When you start that game up, that's what you hear right away. You hear Marco.
That was my
thing. You get excited that you're playing as him and you're about to kill some Nazis.
I mean, it looked as a game, it looks cool, but it's not what I wanted from a Metal Slug. I feel like you could have just done a brand new IP in that same Advance Wars. It could have been Advance Wars for fuck's sake. It looks exactly like it. That was my thing.
I think it looks fantastic. But yes, I agree for the most part. And I liked your video a lot because I thought you roasted it properly, which is like the whole idea of that it was so filled with weird fluff. I hated the tone of Summer Games Fest. The fact that it was a concert and then like a cell phone game and then a skin and then a gigantic cool reveal and then nothing for a while. I don't know. Elden Ring fantastic, but I don't know, it was so bad.
Elden Ring, they got
Jordan.
the
I was
Tiny
gonna ask.
Tinas.
I was gonna ask Jordan. Tiny Tina.
Yeah, so I was wondering if they're actually gonna stick with the name because obviously we heard Wonderlands was coming, but the name I heard a while back was Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and that was a big thing because if you're a fan of Borderlands 2, there's a DLC. Which is basically like a role-playing DLC of Dungeons and Dragons where you're in the game and Tiny Tina just changes stuff up as you're well, in this case a bunk master is what they call it there, but like the dungeon master. And we were like, oh, we're ever gonna get a sequel to this DLC, and the fact that it was so well loved that they're making it its own separate game is pretty exciting. That means it's going to be big, which that DLC is large and long, and it's a big chunk of content. So I'm excited for that. That was my favorite announcement. Obviously, I am excited for Elden Ring, but this was just cool to finally see it announced for Wonderlands, and let's just hope it's a good step in the right direction for Borderlands fans.
We gotta co-op it, me and you do, because I think that's the funniest that series has ever been was the Escape from Dragon.
It's so good, and they got some big voice. They got like actual actors to voice this time instead of voice. Which is kind of like they can kind of be like a cheap gimmick. Yeah. Hey, look, we got this famous person in it. But I don't dislike who they chose. It's not like oh, you got this person because of their name. So I am still excited for it. And
you're excited for Death Stranding director's cut?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch Game Fest. So seeing the announcement of Death Stranding director's cut was awesome, but also like hearing his perspective on Death Stranding happening and then so soon, basically like things that he predicted about society or thought society was going in a route. Like in the video, he's like, it happened too soon. And like, I don't want to think like that anymore. Like I got to change my perspective on things and stuff. And I'm always curious about it because when Death Stranding came to PC and we tried on my PC, it was, like after everything had happened and like things, the stories would say would be like, oh my God, like that's so relevant to today. And people be like, whoa, mind blowing. A lot of people hadn't even played the game before and they're like, dang, I'm going to play this game now because now I feel like I can relate to it. and it's crazy because it's just like, you know, like if this game came out after COVID and everything, people would be like, wow, this is too insensitive, this is too touchy. But because it came out after or before, you know, it's just wild. So to see the director's cut and like the cutscene, you know, with the references,
a lot of references to Metal Gear.
People are interpreting it different ways. You know, I did like the interpretation, you know, that people believe where it's just like he got in the box, he's just like nah, and he puts it back up, you know, like sets it back with care. And a lot of people are like, that's like his way of like, you know, like cleans, you know, like putting it in the past and walking away from it. I don't know. It was really cute to see all that though. I enjoyed it. It was
the question's going to be what's in that director's cut. I assume it's going to be like, oh, it's going to use the PS5 DualSense in some interesting ways, but extra content, maybe more story. I don't know if it's post story.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like Final Fantasy 2 where it's like in the middle somewhere. It looked like he was it like a mule warehouse? I think that's how I interpreted it. Those were the mules. So I think, what if you're like helping kind of dissect the mules? It could even be after, you know, Sam just decides, hey, we're gonna rid ourselves of these mules, of these, you know, what are they, like package obsessed people or whatever. I think that'd be really cool because you don't get to see too much about them. You know, they're kind of just cumbersome along the side versus you actually getting to the root of the problem. So should be cool.
How much are they going to charge me to play?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's the thing. Is it like a $20 like additional thing, like Yuffie, or is it, you know, like you're gonna have to rebuy the whole game? Because I don't want to buy it again. The whole game. I love the game, but I'm not buying it again. Yeah.
I want the 60 FPS patch though.
Well, yeah. So somebody was sending me a link saying that it there's stores that already have it for pre-order and it's $70. There better be some sort of like, if you bought the game, there's an upscale or something. It would suck if you want this little bit of extra stuff, you have to buy the whole game again.
You know what's gonna be the worst is if there's a you can't transfer your save data over or something, so you got to beat the game all over again. And because I don't feel like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel like playing the game again.
No. I would agree with that. I also hope that the save transfer thing is a little bit easier than the Final Fantasy stuff, because transferring the save data is a whole process in itself from the PS4 to PS5 for Final Fantasy.
I know they said we're a couple weeks away from getting like the full announcement of it.
So
we'll probably get the details of what the game is and if you could get an upgrade of it or not.
Maybe a state of play for all that Sony event.
Possibly.
Maybe,
yeah. All right, very good.
Hopefully not.
Why, Sean? You know, it's a good chance for you to play through Death Stranding.
I'm not playing that game ever again.
Sean, look how you're dressed.
How much time did you put? How much time did you put into it?
Huh? Like, there was too many people talking. I played like 13, 14 hours of the game.
What? And then you stopped?
Yes.
Dang.
Why didn't you just keep going?
Because I didn't want to.
Because he wanted to play Ninja Gaiden again.
I wanted to play an actual video game, not a delivery simulator. If I want to do that, I'll go apply for Amazon, where I can make $18 to $20 an hour according to the things that they send me.
And you got the collector's edition.
It's great because every time I hear that, I always view Amazon drivers as having to like make guns that they have to shoot at people who are trying to steal their packages. It's always fun to think about that.
You like anyway, and then we got Elden Ring. Elden Ring at the end is.
Whoa! We're skipping the other good game from this event. Evil Dead.
Okay.
Yes, we are. I'm not even going to back you up on this because you disrespected Metal Slug Tactics.
Metal Slug Tactics looks like a very good video game. I just wish that instead of it just being Metal Slug Tactics, that there was a proper non-mobile Metal Slug to go alongside of it. That is where my disappointment came into
non-mobile.
effect.
It's on Steam.
Consoles.
No, he's
non-mobile.
Sean, you bought that gaming PC.
For editing.
Now it's time for go ahead, MG.
He's talking about that Metal Slug game that Tencent's making that's mobile only, that has health bars every time you shoot
There you go.
an enemy, which is an absolute.
Yeah, well, that one is a travesty, but this one's good.
Well,
But yes,
good.
Evil Dead looks great.
It
looks
has
so
no
good.
way looking
trailer,
that good.
huh?
It is so good looking.
It looks a lot better than I thought it would. I'll be honest.
I cannot wait for that. That was like the highlight of the show for me.
I'm glad to see a game.
What? I think Evil Dead. I don't know. It did not press the buttons for me. I don't know why. Something about the fact that it's just, here's all the stuff you've seen. I don't know. Something about, hey, look, it's the cabin. Hey, look, it's the sword guy. You know, like, I don't know. It felt, I don't know. It felt kind of dry to me.
it just looked fun. Like there's something like the other games haven't done, like Dead by Daylight, or even, I know Sean, you're gonna hate me, but even like Friday the 13th, like those games haven't pulled my attention, right? They haven't like, okay, I need to, I haven't had the will to jump in to play those, but like I'm a huge Evil Dead fan, so right off the bat, like I was like, okay, this looks pretty solid, but it looked fun. The kills looked overly brutal, which is great. It had the campiness aspect to it. It had no right looking this good. Like it looks like so much fun, and I think I'm on board
gets
for
to be
this.
the demon and shit like that.
I'm
like,
so on board for this.
That's cool, man. It reminds, the reason I love it so much is because it reminds me a lot of Friday the 13th, and it's like, you know, I want that same sort of experience again, but with different elements, and I think that's what they did with that game.
Well,
so,
I'll be playing that one with you. I'm on board for that one.
All right, cool. Evan, we're going to go to Elden Ring. You said you had a question from the Discord about the Elden Ring reveal coming out January 21st, by the way.
Yeah, we do. Elden Ring looks, and I guess this kind of falls in line with sort of what Sean's saying. Elden Ring looks like just another From Software game. Have we been given any reason to be more excited about it than what we would be for any other From Software game?
Let me answer that, because everyone, I'm not because I'm not the biggest Souls guy in the world, as everyone knows. Like, I think the setting feels a little different. Like, yes, it's still
fantasy with big swords and armor,
but it still felt a little different to me. And like watching the trailer, I was like, okay, I can see why people are really looking forward to this game, especially if I like that From Software gameplay. Is it a huge departure? Not really to me, but
it's supposed to be.
I can understand why people are excited for it. It does look like a very good game.
It's supposed to be more open world, and I think that's got a lot of people excited for it.
There's actually going to be real stealth mechanics built into the game, because no more Souls games, it's so claustrophobic. You're always in some type of corridor or boxed in or just dropped in an arena where there's like an enemy, and like you just have to kind of like circle or strafe around and like do your soul stuff, you know, like exploit the patterns. This one, it opens it up, it gives you the horse, and you can just shoot across huge valleys. And I mean, to me, it looks way different than what we see before. Having open-ended combat and strategizing for that and developing a game where you know that's going to be a part along with stealth adds all sorts of different gameplay possibilities that you wouldn't normally get in Demon Souls or Dark Souls or Bloodborne or something like that. Well, there is some stuff in those games, but not like how they're going to do it here based on the description of the game that they've.
My big reservation is, since this is a From Software game, we all know the whole, cutoff for the community versus like who's into the Souls games and who can't get into those games. Like, I've tried plenty of times, and I'm just not good at the Souls games, right? They destroy me, and I love the lore, but I cannot get into them because I'm just not good, no matter how long I try or each one I get into. Is this going to be a game like similar to that, even though it's more open, where you're going to have to be pinpoint precise on every little thing you do, or you're just going to keep dying and dying and dying and not progress? Or is it going to be more of like an open kind of RPG, similar like to a lot of other games, more open world? It's not as, this little enemy is going to kill me in one hit,
Like,
it's going to be like that.
It's going to be like what?
It's going to be like you need skill, like it's going to be hard, like you're going to die.
Right, we'll just keep playing Evil Dead. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I thought is each of the Dark Souls games ended up being a little bit easier. 1 is hard as hell, 2 is a little bit easier, 3 is way easier. And I actually think that's also because they got better and better controls. In a post-Sekiro world, I have a feeling that this is still going to be difficult and it's still going to be punishing, but the controls are going to be so refined, it'll be one of those things that you can beat with practice.
Let me ask you a question, because I don't think you've answered this before. What is the out of that original Demon Souls and the Dark Souls trilogy and Sekiro, which one is the hardest one to you? And add in Bloodborne.
Demon Souls is by far the hardest, but mostly because it's the most confusing. The maps are the weirdest designed. It's not just enemy health bar, but I feel like Demon Souls had the most instant kills, the most crazy traps and stuff, areas you're just not supposed to go to and stuff. I don't know. They definitely got easier and easier. And I like Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls 3, of course, you can get lost in the poison swamp and stuff. But I don't know. They definitely started incredibly hard and got more accessible.
January 21st. Do we think it's actually coming out January 21st?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I say no.
Oh,
no.
wow. Okay. It's got some different opinions. Okay. So Nate, you say no. MG says no. Max says yes. OJ says yes. Okay.
The reason why I say
It
yes
just
is
seems like a title that's ripe for a quick delay.
but it didn't look like they're doing anything crazy graphically. It looks like they're really kind of going in with like the gameplay. So I think that, I mean, they showed a lot of gameplay. It looked amazing. So I mean, I could be wrong, but I just think that they just wanted to wait, and I think it's ready. I think it's going to be ready by the time that since they've been waiting so long, because they didn't show us anything on this game for forever. You know,
Yeah.
so maybe they wanted to actually wait till they knew when it was going to come out before they showed it for real.
It did disappear for a while.
I mean, it can hit that date. I wouldn't be surprised like if it does happen, but it just feels like that type of game that come October or November, we're going to hear, due to blah, 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 we've decided to delay the release till March or something. It just feels like that type of release. And as we know, the game's eventually going to have the PlayStation 5 and Series X free upgrade option. So maybe depending on progress of that game, they could even look at it and say, let's try to shorten that gap if we can. Because basically what we're getting in January is the launch of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version of this game.
I thought they said it's also so there is. I thought there was a separate PS5 and Xbox Series.
You get
There's not?
smart delivery as a free upgrade option, but there's no next gen. There's no true next gen version of the game launching.
Oh, then I think they're definitely going to hit that date then. If they don't got to worry about the that
The other version of the game.
Yeah, that makes it more confident that they will hit the date then maybe.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, I mean, also, let's face it, it just does look super graphically intensive. It looks like a cool, fun PS4 game. So I feel like the fact that it's not needed to be crazy, I don't know, it looks really polished already.
It looks like a game that saved a 2-hour show and made it the greatest show of all time.
I'm real glad you're not upset, RGT. You definitely sound not mad.
I just loved Keeley talking about his show, his vision for gaming. I don't know. Maybe you want to surround yourself with other people who aren't yes men, who are just agreeing with everything you say, so that way you can get other visions, because I don't think anyone watching really gave a fuck about Weezer and the Sonic Unleashed Orchestra and skins for games. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one that's out of touch with the video game world, and that could be it.